First of all, congratulations. Tell us a little bit about what you hope to accomplish in this role and what the FBI sort of mission in this region of Florida is.
Well, thank you, Brady, and I appreciate that. I think my mission it hasn't changed from the day that I started with the FBI. It's just the assignment has changed. From day one, my mission is to uphold the Constitution of the United States and protect the citizens of America and their rights. My assignment right now, as it is the head of all of our resident agency offices, which includes Pensacola, obviously, and Destin, that Fort Walton Beach area, Tallahassee, Daytona Beach, Ocala, and Gainesville. And so, like every other team that I've been a part or that I've led, both domestically and globally in Central and South America, my objective is first and foremost is to get to know my teams, get to know the key stakeholders in the area of responsibility, the sheriffs, the chiefs of police, the leaders in the community. And so, being brand new here, this is finishing up my second week. My next order of business is to get out into those areas that I just described to you, those resident agencies, meeting with my teams and our law enforcement and community partners.
Now, I'm actually in Panama City Beach. I'm kind of between Pensacola and Tallahassee in an area we generally refer to as the Panhandle.
Right.
And, it's a beach community. So we see, I think the concerns that maybe we have are human trafficking and drug trafficking. We see some high profile cases like that in this area every so often. I'm just wondering what you see and how the FBI plans to combat that.
Well, we definitely have a role in those violations that you just described, and they're a priority for us. The FBI prioritizes its threats every year, and whether it's counterterrorism or national security matters. But human trafficking is a theme across the FBI that we are putting a lot of resources into and a lot of time and partnering up with our partners to address those threats and mitigate them. And so here in the next coming weeks, my goal is to get briefed up on those investigations that we have in the Panhandle area and put more efforts into that to make sure that we're addressing it and that we're providing and being the best partner that we can be to our law enforcement partners.
Now, obviously, we had a pretty high profile. I guess I would classify it as an international terrorism event in Pensacola, where we had the shooting at the Navy base. And then I also think there are probably some concerns around here about domestic terrorism after the January 6th event. So I'm just wondering what you can say about any of those sort of issues.
Yeah, so Pensacola, the attack in Pensacola, I'm very sensitive to that situation. I'll be getting briefed on that here in the coming days. And so I understand it's a very difficult situation that occurred, especially for the folks in Panhandle, and how it really hit home. I want to assure Brady, the folks, the citizens that are watching this, that the FBI is still working with our counterparts at DOD, specifically Navy. And I'm meeting with them later this afternoon to get a full brief on that matter. And so we are still pressing forward. It's a very sensitive investigation, Brady. I'm sure you can appreciate that. And I hope the folks out watching this can appreciate that as well. But I do want to assure the citizens that we are moving forward with that investigation very aggressively. And it's, at some point, I hope that we can provide a little bit more details on that. On domestic terrorism, you're right. You can't turn on the TV right now without seeing something on TV or social media on domestic terrorism. I think it's incumbent on us as the FBI to do our role to continue to investigate those individuals and identify those individuals that committed the attack on our seat of government, that is the Capitol, on January 6th. And we whether it's the Jacksonville office or any other field office of the FBI, we are forward leaning in those investigations.
Bay County is home, specifically the city of Lynn Haven is home to what to us is a really high profile public corruption case involving millions of dollars after Hurricane Michael. I know you probably can't speak to the specifics of that case, but I'm sure people want to know what the FBI's role there is and what the role will be in the future in terms of public corruption. This area, many of the people who live here are um, feel like they see public corruption a lot. You know, they see some issues that maybe never get resolved, and so I'm just wondering what the FBI can do there.
Yeah, it's an excellent question, Brady. And there's one thing that the FBI does is we do follow through, and we are following through on this investigation. Corruption, I think it tears at the very fabric of our community and everything that we stand for, the integrity. And so that is a case that is another case that's high on my priority list. And I'll be meeting with my team out in the Panama City Resident Agency. But I am getting some feedback on that case, and I can assure the folks in that area that we are still following through with that investigation.
What that covers a lot of the topics that I wanted to grab. What else do you see out there that you want to either talk about or that you want the public to know that you guys are working on?
Yeah, I think that the FBI. There's a misconception about the FBI that we work in our own bubble. But that's not true. I think the FBI has been the FBI, has had the successes that it's had for the last 100 plus years because of our ability to partner up, not just with our law enforcement partners. We take a lot of pride in that, but it's also important for us to partner up with members of the community, leaders within the community, private sector, businesses and organizations. And that's how we are able to do our job to the best of our ability. A good percentage, about half of the tips that we get and to open cases is through tips that we get from the citizens, tips that we get from our partners, and that's very important for the members of our community that are watching this. Is that we are always open to a phone call from you, your organization, or whatever the business it might be, and being able to sit down around a table and discuss the issues is very important, because if it's your problem, and when I say your problem, it's you, the community, it's the sheriff's department, then it's our problem as well. And so I think that would be one message that I like to put out to the community.